Beyond Emissions podcast by Soligent, the largest pure-play solar distributor in the Americas. Thanks for joining us here at the Soligent YouTube channel. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, comment down below, or email me direct storage@soligent.net. But be a part of this ongoing conversation about what it's going to take to create a world that is beyond emissions. We're live today. That you hear all the background noise. It's lots of fun. We've had tacos, lots of refreshments for our customers, our amazing vendor partners out here in droves. Fantastic partners that we have here at Soligent, offering you the best solutions in the business, including all of your solar panel needs, your racking, your inverters, your energy storage, your electrical balance of systems. We've got it all, and it's in stock as well. We're here at our Sacramento Grand Opening at our new Soligent Warehouse, 1790 Bell Avenue, Suite 125. And one of the blessings about having our warehouse here in Sacramento is we're centrally located. The stock is amazing. Coquise came in and gave me the tour earlier. Wow. Lots of shelves are full of solutions for you, ready and available for will call pickup. Also as well, delivery to the job site. So all of that flexibility available to you. So stop on by for a free tour. 1790 Bell Avenue, Suite 125 here in Sacramento, California. We are doing the live version of the Beyond Emissions podcast here in Sacramento today. We love that you were joining us on board. Joining us here today, as a matter of fact, we've got some great guests. Our first guest on today's program, Nolan Granzin from EndurEnergy Batteries, and also on the line as well. Nolan, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Josh. Excited to be here.
Hey, thank you so much. And EndurEnergy Batteries, safe, long-life lithium iron phosphate batteries, 5.1 kilowatt-hour increments, great BMS system, goes well with the Sol Ark inverter, other inverter systems too. Lots of advantages. And also joining us on the program, my friend, my mentor, taught me what a kilowatt hour is. Brooke Hanner from Offline Solar Electric. Welcome to the show, Brooke. Are you out on a job site right now, my friend?
I am on a job site, but I'm happy to be on your podcast. Thank you.
Brooke, you rock, man, taking time away from doing your installation. Brooke is at Offline Solar, a customer here at Soligent, offlinesolar.com in Mariposa, California. Make sure you stop on by their website, offlinesolar.com. Find out more. One of the heritage companies in the solar business. Offline Solar, the original owner, Don Loberg, was the president of CALSA, or CalSIA at the time, California Solar and Storage Association, who actually fought for rooftop solar here in California. And Brooke Hanner has been the owner for over a decade now, specializing in battery-based systems. Brooke, you just called me yesterday. Nolan, we're not doing this just to show off for Nolan and EndurEnergy systems that are available at Soligent, but tell the world, installers who are listening that are curious about EndurEnergy systems available at Soligent, or homeowners and end users that are listening, from an installer standpoint, you're experienced at this. You've been doing it a long time. You're my mentor. You taught me what a kilowatt hour is. Tell our listeners a little bit about your experience with EndurEnergy batteries, Brooke.
Well, when I received them about a week before we went out on a job, and obviously opened up the boxes and started studying some of the components, and I was a little confused at that point. Some of the things didn't match up correctly from what I expected. But I got Endur on the phone, and we talked for a few minutes, and the truth was that they had sent me almost exactly what I needed in order to hook up into a 1500 Sol Ark. And everything, the cables were fine. Everything was there. They were new to me, and I had to kind of orient myself to them. And then we got to the job site and started installing them. And I had a couple other questions that I was able to get resolved. But I got to tell you, once I got everything all programmed and I understood how everything was all programmed and got it done, which took, studying it for the first time probably took, 2 or 3 hours on the job site. But when I plugged in that final cable and made the connection to the inverter, and all of a sudden it just went boom, and all the programming for the batteries was done, and it was it was perfect. It went in so easy at that point. I'm trying to sell the heck out of them now because their price point here. Well, that's another part. But anyway, I was really impressed with them. I want to use them again, and I plan on trying to get a set for myself for my own off-grid system.
Oh, wow. So you were able to hook it all up in the BMS battery management system in the EndurEnergy Lithium Iron Phosphate 5.1 kilowatt-hour batteries. They automatically communicated with the Sol Ark? Wow.
Once it was plugged in, let me explain. I had got all the cabling in there, and it was, it wasn't quite communicating, so I thought I had a bad cable. So I was taking the cable out that goes from the master battery to the inverter itself, because I was going to patch another cable in there just to test it to see if I had a bad cable, because it was one I had to make up myself. And as I'm taking it out of the master battery, I could tell that it wasn't plugged in all the way, and I just pushed it in. And as soon as I pushed it in, it was wham, off it went. It was perfect. It was perfect. But like I said, I am so impressed. I'm trying to push Outback, because I have an Outback system myself. I'm trying to push Outback into working with EndurEnergy to be able to talk to their 3648 A's, which is, I think they should be able to do that. I think they can get that communication going.
Oh, matter of fact, why not? Let's ask the horse's mouth. I'm not calling you names, Nolan. Nolan Granzin with us from EndurEnergy Systems, available here at Soligent, and my friend and mentor and a Soligent customer as well, Offline Solar Electric's very own Brooke Hanner, on the line with us, talking about his EndurEnergy installation experience with the Sol Ark. You've got your own personal system. You live off the grid. You're thinking about transferring over to the VFXR 3648 3.6 kilowatt hour, or kilowatt 48 volt inverters from Outback. Now, can you share your thoughts on that, Nolan, as far as the EndurEnergy batteries, battery management system capability of communicating with Outback Power inverters?
Yeah. First of all, Brooke, thank you for that install. I mean, that's a great example of the feedback that we get from a lot of the installers. At first there's a slight bit of a learning curve, but then after that you can plug and play and install those batteries within 30 minutes, especially when you're pairing it with something like a Sol Ark.
Right.
Yeah, and as far as Outback, we're inverter agnostic, so we can work with any inverter, and setting up that closed loop communication just takes us getting in touch with our team and getting it set up in a matter of weeks, basically. So we are in communications with a number of different inverters, and Outback is one of them.
So I've actually wrote an email to one of their service techs, who is going to carry it up the chain and try and put Mr. Lee, is it, I spoke to yesterday?
Yeah, Lee.
Put him and I think one of the other salespeople in touch with the team there that handles the batteries or handles that sort of stuff. I do install, so I don't know. But anyway, I'm trying to push them to do it. They, I think it's a great battery, and the thing I started to say that really surprised me, and I just saw it a couple days ago. When we write our proposals, we will often write the proposal with a lithium battery in the main price, and then we'll do a deduct for if you want to do lead acid. So it's usually a line with the total, and then a line with the deduct for lead acid if you want to use those. What happened the other day is the difference in cost between 4 5100 Endur batteries and our a comparable lead acid battery bank was $1,500. it's like I looked at that and thought, I mean, that's a no-brainer. Who wouldn't buy the set of lithium batteries for $1,500 more? That is just, to me, that is incredible. I mean, I as a installer, I feel like I could sell that to any client I had. That's what you want. That's what we want. That's the price point we want as installers, because we can sell the heck out of those things. You know?
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that. I mean, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to come in at a nice competitive price point that'll fit for the installers. I mean, those are our customers, and that's who we want to make happiest.
Well, that's you got one guy on your side here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Brooke Hanner, Offline Solar Electric in Mariposa, California, a customer of Soligent, also as well my dear friend and mentor. Also joining us, EndurEnergy Systems, available at Soligent. EndurEnergy in 5.1 kilowatt-hour increments, affordable, long-life, safe lithium iron phosphate, customizable for your systems. BMS works with multiple different inverter systems, especially with the Sol Ark inverter. Phenomenal pair. I mean, you're even in the Sol Ark building. You share an engineering team, so that makes a big difference. Brooke, you're installing a lot of Sol Ark lately. Now, obviously, going to be offering those paired with the EndurEnergy systems. Since they share the same, engineering team and tech support and, all that good stuff, even the same office space to a degree. What are your thoughts about that ability to be synonymous?
I'm sorry, what are my thoughts in regards to what?
Sol Ark and EndurEnergy being in the same building. What are your thoughts?
Oh, I think I actually kind of like it. I like the obviously I like the Sol Ark inverter a lot. If I wasn't so personally involved with Outback products in my own home, I would certainly be considering changing it out with the Sol Ark at this point. But anyway, I think that the idea that they're working hand in hand, it showed in how seamless everything went together once we got it programmed and in place and plugged in correctly. There was no hiccups. It was seamless. It was perfect. It worked. I didn't have to do anything. I just plugged it in, and that's the kind of engineering that you would expect when you have a team working like that hand in hand, especially in the same building.
Yeah, and I really appreciate that. That's exactly what we want to hear, and that's exactly what we are hearing from installers across the country. The fact that we can have a single call line for engineering support for both Sol Ark inverters and EndurEnergy batteries, whether that's a quick question during an install or it's a question months ahead of time when you're trying to spec out or size a project. We try to be available, we're responsive, and we are there to support.
And Brooke,
yes, sir.
The 10-year warranty, I know that's pretty standard, but life expectancy of a lithium iron phosphate battery system properly sized, you're going to get far beyond that, right?
Well, they have 6,000 cycles at 90% depth of discharge. Do the math, divide that by 365, and it's somewhere up around 15, 16 years.
Yeah, and most of them go 80%, so then you can stretch it even longer than that 6,000 at 90.
Yeah,
right.
What are we estimating at, Nolan, for that? What about 8,000? That's pretty much what I'm seeing standard for lithium iron phosphate, about 8,000 cycles at 80% depth of discharge.
Yeah, that's what I would go with.
Yeah. And Brooke, and by the way, folks, again, we're live Sacramento at the Grand Opening, 1790 Bell Avenue, Suite 125, Sacramento Soligent Warehouse, Grand Opening, and lots of tacos, drinks, fun, prizes. Lots of great customers coming by today. Thanks so much for coming. I'm not leaving. All right. Oh, I love it. I love it. Our customers are loving it too. That's awesome. Make sure you stop on by and get a free tour sometime, folks, in Sacramento, 1790 Bell Avenue, Suite 125. My friend and mentor and a Soligent customer as well from Offline Solar Electric. Go to offlinesolar.com today, offlinesolar.com. Brooke Hanner, owner of Offline Solar, here with us today. He's recently installed some EndurEnergy batteries, so who better to have on and give feedback? Also, EndurEnergy's very own Nolan Granzin with us as well. Yeah, so 8,000 cycles at 80% depth of discharge. Brooke, when you're sizing a battery at 80% depth of discharge, forgive me for jumping the gun, I normally take their usable kilowatt hours of energy needed. I divide it by 0.8 to increase that by 20%, so the battery should not discharge past 80% depth of discharge daily. But is that the correct way to do it?
Yeah, well, yes, because you don't want to, the thing with the lithium batteries, you never want to completely drain it totally dead. That's usually a disaster. So, you want to build safety in your programming so that, you still there? There you are, yeah. You want to build safety in your programming so that the battery is going to shut itself down, or the inverter is going to quit taking power from it at a place where you're not totally discharging the battery. So now, I hope that answered the question.
Absolutely. And now since we've got you on the line, do you have experience with customers who need higher DC voltage battery systems?
Yeah, I've messed with them some, but not a lot. For the most part, that was back in my industrial days. I used to work building sewage treatment plants, but in solar, I haven't ran into that high voltage stuff except in the actual solar panels themselves. Right.
Well, the reason why I mentioned it, and for our audience, Brooke Hanner has the electrical experience and knowledge to be able to make this applicable for your system. Brooke, I don't know if you realize this or not, but Sol Ark now has a 30K and coming out a 60K commercial inverter.
Oh.
And so the 30K will put out 208 three-phase, and they can be AC coupled and DC coupled. Great for adding storage for commercial opportunities that haven't been able to get storage previously, but they just got grid-tie solar, and they need batteries. They've got 24/7 operations, whatever it might be. The 30K Sol Ark is 208 three-phase output and requires 300 volts DC on the battery side or higher. And check this out. Nolan, I'll let you introduce Brooke and our audience to it in here in just a moment. But Brooke, this is so cool. The HL high-low voltage battery. Talk a little bit about the ESP5100 HL has the ability to be wired in series for high DC voltage to pair with the 30K Sol Ark?
Correct, yeah. You can wire in series or parallel. Switch it between high or low voltage. Obviously, it's going to be very popular with the high voltage, and it has the closed-loop communication and testing for over a year now with the Sol Ark 30K and 60K that are coming out. So we're really excited about that. We're one of the only batteries available in the market right now that can pair with the Sol Ark 30K and 60K. And we've just been taking pre-orders and receiving all kinds of demand for all the commercial projects and industrial projects that people are working on across the country right now.
Oh, I'm sure. That sounds like a really easy solution. Or let's put it a nice solution anyway. My experience with the Sol Ark inverter is always it's always it's a lot like I described them with Endure batteries. It takes a little bit to get to know them, but once you start to get a handle on it, it's actually pretty easy.
Brooke, what do you think about the 30K commercial inverters from Sol Ark applicable? There really hasn't been to add storage to some of these commercial solar systems. I don't know about you. I called on a tomato sauce factory or food processing factory about 10 years ago. I didn't have a solution at the time, but I looked at the guy's bills, and they're a 24/7 operation. They have to shut down and lose money to avoid paying the giant demand charges, and they wanted like X amount of energy storage to power some of that load so they could keep that going 24/7 and not lose money. But
there was a time recently in the last probably 6 months where I had a client that was running basically a little fish farm for he grew fish for aquariums, right? And he had probably millions of fish in this system, but it was all energy was his biggest use, right? And he and I were talking about just what we're talking now, some sort of storage system. Excuse me, some sort of storage system for him. He had solar already, but there were times when that solar was basically idle, and it needed some place to put some extra energy, and that kind of inverter would have been real handy, and still might be. I'll get in touch with him again, so see what he's done, if anything, at this point.
Yeah, because you can AC couple the 30K Sol Ark with the EndurEnergy high-low voltage batteries and provide that customer with, or even if it's a 480 output customer, same thing, the 60K, but sounds like this is more comparable with the 30K solution. But adding storage after they've already got grid tie, that really hasn't been an easy thing to do on a commercial industrial basis, as of the recent years, huh?
It hasn't been anything that's been in view of something that this company could do. It's been, there's some of the larger companies like, Tesla's been doing that sort of stuff, but now it sounds to me as though it might be possible for, other companies working with Sol Ark and Endur to do the same thing. And I'm sure Endur wouldn't mind putting some engineering together for something like that.
What are your thoughts on that, Nolan? And thank you again for listening, folks. Sacramento Grand Opening, 1790 Bell Avenue in Sacramento, Suite 125. Come by for a free tour. Sacramento Grand Opening of our new warehouse for Soligent. Nolan Granzin and EndurEnergy with us, along with my friend, mentor, and Soligent customer, Brooke Hanner from Offline Solar Electric. Thanks for taking your time. He's at a job site right now. Thank you so much, Brooke. What are your thoughts about what Brooke is talking about in the fish farm customer? I mean, real big difference on what we can empower people to do with the 30K plus the high-low voltage option from EndurEnergy, right?
Yeah, absolutely, and I agree. And it's funny that you brought up a fish farm. We actually had a couple guys in from South America a few weeks ago who are running a pretty large group of salmon farms, and they're looking into Sol Ark 30Ks and indoor high voltage batteries to help with their solutions. So it's applicable in all kinds of different fields all across the world, and we're excited to be helping people out with their issues.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Hey, Nolan, I have a question for you in regards to the 5100.
Yes.
It was a question I was asked the other day when I was doing this installation up in Point Arena, California. If he wanted to add, with the 5100s, if you wanted to add more batteries to the battery bank, how long do you have to do that without damaging any of the batteries?
You can add more at any time. That's part of the customability that you have with our batteries and Sol Ark inverters, is that you can say a homeowner isn't quite sure about how much power they need. They can start out with 15 kilowatt hours, and then you can add another 3 batteries for 15 kilowatt hours a year later if they decide to.
You could do that 10 years down the road if you were so inclined?
That's my understanding. I mean, we haven't had that happen 10 years down the road yet.
Yeah, well,
as far as I'm told, you can add batteries as needed.
Well, that is awesome.
Is that
That's
because
absolutely awesome?
Brooke and Nolan, I mean, your thoughts, both of you, that's got to be because the BMS is individual per each battery, correct? And basically you're not losing any of the capacity of the new new versus the old that you're putting in there? Like, for example, if you put a set of old batteries with new batteries, it goes down to the capacity of the older batteries. That's not the case?
No, and because we have the Wi-Fi connectivity with the BMS, we can do over-the-air software updates to make sure all the batteries that are 5, 8, 10 years old, they will have the latest software on them through those over-the-air updates.
See, that just makes them that much more valuable. That's just such, from an installer's point of view. I mean, you can imagine you could be working with a client that could afford 2 or 3 of those batteries, but really could use 3 or 4 more after that. Be able to tell them that next year you can buy 2 more and just add them. That's a big deal. That is a huge deal. That's a huge deal. I'm glad to hear that.
Good answer, Nolan. Good answer.
Absolutely.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Now, off-grid, you do a lot of off-grid as well as grid tie. Brooke Hanner, Offline Solar Electric with us. Nolan Granzin, EndurEnergy Systems. I'm Josh Brumm, your host. We're in Sacramento. You hear the background noise. Grand Opening, 1790 Bell Avenue here in Sacramento of our new Soligent Warehouse. Lots of customers, lots of vendor partners here with us today. Thanks so much, Brooke Hanner from Offline Solar Electric, Nolan Granzin from EndurEnergy for being here with us today. Brooke, by the way, folks, if you are in the out of Fresno, but it's really Madera County, Mariposa, Oakhurst, Bass Lake, North Fork, etc., up in the mountains here in California, on the way, the gateway to the Yosemites, right? Or Yosemite. There's only one. There's no S, Josh. But it's beautiful up there. A lot of customers you've been serving for many years, Brooke. A lot of off-grid customers, right? How do you approach, and especially in your thinking of utilizing EndurEnergy moving forward, tell our listeners, please, from an off-grid standpoint, how do you approach sizing and designing correct off-grid systems that actually run people's homes? I mean, you live off the grid. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, I do load calculations to see what they should be, or what they use on a regular basis. But I also, take into account who they are, and try to get a feel for if they're, if they're kind of people that will be standing up and shutting off the light on the other side of the room, or if they're going to have all the lights on in their house all the time, So, because all that matters. And for instance, the installation I did in Point Arena this last weekend, it's just a husband and wife, and they live by themselves, and their usage, I'm watching it on the Sol Ark app these days, and they're like using like 7-8 kilowatt a day, hardly anything, but they could be a family of husband and wife and 3 kids that that are having parties every weekend, and it'd be a different story. And that's the part that you just kind of have to. I mean, you can do all the calculations you want, but that's the part where you just kind of have to go, I better bump this by 20%. I better bump it by 30%.
So that fits in to the discussion about the expandability. That makes so much sense. So many of your customers are off grid. So great question to Nolan earlier about the expandability later on, if they were so inclined 8, 9, 10 years down the road, if they needed to add more storage, because it might be just 7 kilowatt hours per day for mom and dad. But then, one of the kids and grandkids moves back in, the different dynamics going on in our crazy economy. Now, all of a sudden, we need more energy. And, Offline Solar Electric at offlinesolar.com, available for those expansions and taking care of those needs in, the future. But, the expandability, your question from EndurEnergy makes so much sense, Brooke.
Well, it's one of the selling points. If I can tell somebody that, you don't need to buy, the Taj Mahal of battery banks today. You can do it over time, over the next couple of years, if that's what you need. And I mean, that's a huge selling point. I mean, and not only that, it sounds to me as though that you'd be able to cycle batteries in and out depending on their condition over time.
Ooh, talk about that, Nolan. Is that something that we can do? Kind of take a unit out, put a new one in, and kind of cycle them in and out? I mean, depending on the situation?
Yeah, I don't see why not. I haven't run into that particular situation, but that would definitely be something you could do.
Yeah, I mean, if you can add them in there, almost any time, then if you have one that's starting to have some issues, then it makes sense to me that you'd be able to take that one out and replace it.
Absolutely.
That means those batteries are worth even more. It's like, they're not all going to, that's just huge. If you got that kind of durability and those kind of options, that's the best. The only thing to be better is electronic batteries.
Yeah.
They're a ways out yet.
Well, we're a technology-forward company, so we are flexible and we're open to pivoting in the future if some amazing new chemistry comes out or something like that. We are not committed to lithium. I mean, right now we are, but the fact that we are technology-forward, it allows us to be able to pivot in the future if something like that does happen down the road.
Yeah.
Big difference.
Wow, that's exciting.
Big difference on chemistry too, huh, Brooke? Lots of players out there. There's lithium iron phosphate. There's nickel manganese cobalt, lithium, and you've got lead acid still. But when you look at choosing a lithium chemistry, lithium iron phosphate, although it's less energy dense, I mean, you've got NMC, nickel manganese cobalt. That's what's in your Tesla, driving your car. You need that because it's more energy dense. But for a stationary application where you want that longevity and that safety, lithium iron phosphate, it doesn't matter that the footprint's just a little bit bigger if you're going to gain potentially 30-40% more life cycles and have the safety advantages. Is that how you feel, or what are your thoughts?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I want to use lithium iron phosphate just for that reason. Also for the safety, primarily for, they're more stable.
Yep.
I don't have to worry about them putting them in somebody's garage. That's a big deal. I mean, I've worked a little bit with power walls, and I've always been a little nervous about where they get installed. Just
gotta keep loading.
We got come over here real quick.
I disappeared.
Brooke, hang on the line just a moment. Come over here real quick. What's your name?
Daryl Hutchins.
Daryl
Hutchins.
Nice to meet you. Where are you from, Daryl?
Los Gatos.
Right on. And what's your business?
Harmony Solar.
Harmony Solar. Tell our listeners real quick. We've got Brooke Hanner from Offline Solar Electric out of Mariposa.
Nice.
This is EndurEnergy's
I met him.
Nolan Granzin.
He's very interested in the high voltage with the Sol Ark 30K.
I definitely am.
Wow, awesome.
I do a lot of storage.
Harmony Solar, if customers want to reach out to you, how can they reach you?
They can reach me by my website, harmonysolar.com, or they can call me at 408-966-6676.
Awesome. HarmonySolar.com.
Tired of being in the dark? Let Daryl install a Sol Ark.
You rock! Yeah! What do you like that, Brooke? If you're tired of being in the dark, let Daryl install a Sol Ark. I love it.
I've already changed it to Offline Solar.
We'll use your batteries.
He wants to come up with and Brooke's doing the same thing. Yeah. Awesome. Daryl, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
God bless you, my man.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well,
That's awesome. That's awesome. Brooke, everybody's thinking what you're thinking in this business. It's all about your customer and what they need. And sometimes the market just wants to put a square into a circle. But it's really all about doing what's right. If you're tired of being in the dark, install a Sol Ark. Are you going to use that?
I'll probably play with. There's a place for it.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
I'll have to tell some of the Sol Ark guys about that one on Monday.
It's windy. We're having fun here today in Sacramento. Brooke Hanner, thank you very much. I know that this was impromptu calling you, but since I was sitting down with Nolan Granzin from EndurEnergy to have this interview, I was like, you know what? I want to call Brooke and get his 2 cents. I know you just said you installed him recently, and really appreciate you, man, and your insight.
Well, I appreciate the opportunity to meet up with Nolan too. I hope to have a lot of more experience with the company he works for.
Awesome.
Thank you, Brooke. We're looking forward to working with you.
Awesome.
All right. Thank you.
Brooke, I'll let you get back to it, man. God bless you, and I'll talk to you later. Be safe out there, and thank you for all that you do. I'll remind people when we get off the line right now where to go. I'll let them know right now, offlinesolar.com. It's real easy, offlinesolar.com. It's that easy in Mariposa, California. Brooke, love you, brother. Have a great day, man.
Hey, Josh, thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Nolan. We'll talk again.
Thank you, Brooke.
All right.
Have a good day.
Bye-bye. I'm gone. One way.
Offlinesolar.com. He's at a job site and just got done installing the EndurEnergy batteries that we're talking about here today. Daryl, fantastic guy. It really looks like this technology is being embraced, and I think it's for a good reason.
Yeah, absolutely. Battery storage is necessary, and battery storage is starting to get a lot more recognition. I'd recommend it to anyone that has solar because, when the sun's down, you need that backup battery. You do.
Yep. And under NEM 3, let's talk a little bit about that. There are different customers who have different needs. And, NEM 3 in California is huge. And by the way, if you want to get any information or help at any time, my friend Brooke Hanner, again, he taught me what a kilowatt hour is. Offlinesolar.com. Reach out to him. 209-743-6333. I had to try to remember it. Go to offlinesolar.com, and Brooke can help you. He's happy to give advice, even if you're just calling up and you're a fellow installer. It's like a community. Everybody wants to help.
Yep.
Under NEM 3 in California, there's different types of customers. You have your customer that wants storage just to be utilized to discharge a little bit of energy every day to offset self-consume instead of selling it back for pennies on the dollar under the NEM 3 structure. And it's an ROI tool. It's an investment tool. That's the main primary function. But there's the second type of customer. They want just ROI, but they also want emergency load battery backup. And the third type of customer, whole house backup. They want that ROI, but they also want to know their entire home is potentially backed up. Yep. Would you agree? Those are really the three main types of customers under NEM 3, right?
Yeah, I would agree, Josh. And with Endur batteries, you could be customer in bucket 1, and then down the road you could decide that you want whole home backup, and you have the ability to add those more batteries and bring your power storage system all the way up to whole home backup level. And that's just some of the flexibility that our customers love right now.
And if you're an installer, install time is huge. Cost of labor is huge. Having to roll the trucks back again and again is huge. Mm-hmm. Go through some of that. Brooke touched on it. He figured, once I got this figured out, I could probably get it done in a half hour. But, an hour and a half or something, really low amount of install time. The time frame he had, most of it was because it's his first time. But that could be expedited, right, once you get used to it?
Yeah, super easy install. We get a lot of great feedback from our installers. You're not having to mount a 400-pound something onto a wall. We have ground mount enclosures, outdoor-indoor enclosures. They come fully assembled. The batteries come separately in their boxes, and you just slide the battery into the enclosure. All the cables come included that you need to connect to an inverter, such as a Sol Ark. And it's really just a plug and play. That first install, you have a slight learning curve, might take you 45 minutes an hour. But after that, you're in and out in 20, 30 minutes. Just flip the switches right, plug it in, Sol Ark reads, start charging.
How does it work in regards to working with the utilities? Are they all certified, all your certifications, everything you need, safety standpoint? I know there's UL 9540A requirements and et cetera. I mean, I know they're safe technology. I've obviously Brooke is installing them. So are we all certified, ready to go, and everything for everything that everyone wants to know about? And from that standpoint,
yeah, UL 9540, all the standard certifications, and then the new version 2A we are in the process with, and we should have any week now.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, because I mean that's all about spacing, right? Mm-hmm. Now, spacing, really, that's assuming that your battery's going to catch on fire to begin with. But lithium iron phosphate, if you've looked into the news reports of all of the lithium fires, I cannot ever say that I've ever seen a story where one of those fires was a lithium iron phosphate fire.
Right, yeah, they run cooler. I mean, Tesla's a great company, Powerwalls are great. But that NMC chemistry runs solder. It is technically more dangerous, and lithium is the safer battery that you want if you're going to have it inside your house, in your garage, under your kid's room, things like that. You want to go with the safest thing possible, and right now, LFP batteries are the best option.
Yeah, and in addition, lithium iron phosphate batteries are going to give you about 30 to 40% longer life cycles, and they're safer. Thermal runaway, cascade failure. These are not issues that you're going to have with lithium iron phosphate. Customization, long life. Now, I want to go back to the very beginning where we talked about 90% depth of discharge, 6,000 cycles. Again, folks, you can oversize it by 20% and get about 8,000 cycles and extend the life of that battery system. That's something that I want people to be thinking about when they're sizing systems that are 25 years, life expectancy for a solar PV array system for their customer, and they're trying to pencil out that ROI over 25 years. We want to make sure that we're matching that up. So if you take the usable kilowatt hours of usable energy needed in a max use 24-hour day, you divide that by 0.8, increases it by 20%, so the battery should be sized at 80% depth of discharge. But the fact that you can take it as deep as 90% and still get 6,000 cycles is out of this world. Most companies out there at 90% DOD are closer to 4,500, 5,000 cycles max. I think a lot of that probably has to do, you can speak to that, grade A cells, right? Never using recycled cells. Talk a little bit about your sourcing of lithium iron phosphate cells. Really top-of-the-line quality, right?
Yeah, top quality. We don't use any recycled cells, the grade A LFP cells. So really we're making sure that the best product goes into our batteries. We're a technology-first company, so we're making sure the BMS system is top-of-the-line, connects to Wi-Fi, over-the-air updates, software updates. We just really stay focused on putting out a great product at a very cost-effective price point.
I love it. And, customer service, who wants to be on the side of a mountain like Brooke installing an off-grid system and they call up and they need help, and they don't get the service? It's not U.S.-based support. Sorry, we're closed until Monday. Talk a little bit about that. Another advantage for EndurEnergy systems available right here at Soligent. Click on the link below. Go for it, Nolan.
Yeah, we've talked about a lot of great advantages, but my number one advantage would have to be the customer service and engineering support. So we have a team based out of Dallas, Texas for both engineering and customer support 7 days a week that you can call. They will answer. They will get back to you. You won't have a 1-800 number that's going to be connecting you to a call center that's going to be in another country or anything like that. We have our guys U.S.-based support. All of our data is U.S. housed. Out of Dallas as well. So really we can help with, speccing a project ahead of time, bringing in our engineers to help size a project, and then those quick questions when you're in the middle of an install, like you said, on the side of a mountain, or in the middle of nowhere, Central Texas. We just had one the other day. He was calling in, had some quick questions. He was able to get in touch with us and answered all of his questions right there on the spot from a single call regarding Sol Ark inverters and EndurEnergy batteries. just make things super easy and super responsive. We try to stay very, very customer-oriented.
Excellent. You sold me. Endur and Brooke Hanner from Offline Solar Electric as well, along with lots of other great customers. Let's talk a little bit about that. You mentioned Texas, and we've got our friend George from White Label Solar in Texas. He does a lot of off-grid systems. He did a very big job out there recently where he got a lot of EndurEnergy batteries, and I think he felt the same way. What was his feedback?
Yeah, so he had a pretty interesting one. It was off-grid. They were planning on getting the Starlink set up so they could have internet access, but at the time they did not have that set up, so they were not able to get internet access. They weren't able to get the latest software update through the Sol Ark inverter, but they were able to get in touch with us, and we were able to get them what's called the offline dongle. And so once you have this, you can update your software from anywhere without having to connect to Wi-Fi. So normally you'd be able to easily connect to Wi-Fi. We can update your software remotely. If there's any sort of issues, we can tap into the batteries, we can tap into the Sol Ark, see exactly what's going on. But to have the ability to be able to help out even when you aren't in a Wi-Fi or cellular zone is a game changer.
Oh, wow. So offline with EndurEnergy and Sol Ark, you can use that dongle, and then you just send it in and you get the update and send it back and boom. Or not even, you just go and where you do have connectivity and you update it and then you're able to go plug it right in.
Yeah, we can get it to you that way, or if you're doing, if you know that you're doing remote installs on a regular basis, then you might want to have a dongle ready at all times. So a lot of the installers choose to purchase the dongle themselves, and they keep that with them for those offline remote installs.
Talk about flexibility, man. That is phenomenal. Well, so glad that you're a partner with us here at Soligent. Thank you so much, Nolan. Nolan Granzin from EndurEnergy, available here at Soligent. Our live broadcast today, 1790 Bell Avenue, Suite 125. Stop on by, get a free tour. You can get a will call pickup, delivery to your job site. And thank you so much for being here today, educating us, helping our customers like, George in Texas, etc. Brooke Hanner from Offline Solar Electric at offlinesolar.com. Definitely make sure that you get in touch with EndurEnergy, available right here at Soligent. Find out more, click the link below. Nolan, if our customers want to reach out to you to ask you any questions whatsoever about EndurEnergy and about how they can get these batteries from Soligent, wink, wink, tell our listeners what's the best way they can contact you.
Yeah, we're available right now on Soligent.com. You can reach out to us on our website through sales@EndurEnergy.com. My personal email is nolan.granzin@EndurEnergy.com. And I'd be happy to help, happy to answer questions, happy to connect you with our engineers to help size out a project, anything like that. We're available, and we're excited to work with you.
Thank you so much for being here, for supporting us at this grand opening in Sacramento. And, of course, our partnership. We appreciate you helping out our customers. You rock. Thank you, Nolan.
Yeah, we appreciate you, Josh. And this is a beautiful facility, brand new warehouse. Looks awesome. Great event, great tacos, ice cold beer. It's a fun time.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about. We have fun here at Soligent. I love it.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much, Nolan. Folks, if you want to check out EndurEnergy, just email me. We can set up an appointment, talk about their high-low voltage, talk about their batteries, talk about the different inverters, help you size a system, and design a complete bill of materials for you and your customer. All you've got to do for training or assistance is email me at storage@soligent.net. That's storage@soligent.net. I'm Josh Brumm, your energy storage manager and your host of Beyond Emissions podcast here at the Soligent YouTube channel. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, comment down below. And again, for help and assistance, customization, we're here for you. Email me, storage@soligent.net. Soligent, the largest pure-play solar distributor in the Americas.
We at Soligent are incredibly excited to announce our partnership with GivePower. Well, we wouldn't be here today talking to you about GivePower if it wasn't for our partners, LoanPal. They've been with GivePower since the beginning. Their contribution has given water and light to countless people across the globe. We are truly inspired by LoanPal's dedication to the cause. Something LoanPal said really strikes a chord regarding GivePower. that this is something that's more than money. It's what makes making money more worthwhile. In a lot of ways, that's synonymous with what we're doing here at Soligent.
Here's how you can help.
What we've decided to do is compound LoanPal's contribution by donating to GivePower on every order paid via our direct pay program through LoanPal. That's right. Every time your company uses your LoanPal portal to pay Soligent for material, 5 people get clean drinking water for a full year.
Together we're stronger.
Together, we can choose to be extraordinary by giving to people who live outside our reach. To us, this means a lot.
Soligent's purpose meets GivePower's mission. Join the impact. Soligent, Solar Engine. SolarEngineSolutions.com. Go there to find out more.